All right, so good morning, everyone. And we are into the second unit, which is Introduction to Information Retrieval and Indexing Concepts. In this unit, we will be discussing Introduction to Information Retrieval, Conceptual Model of IR, Basic Concepts of Indexing, Principal Theory of Indexing, and all the real-time application, right? Also, just a small update which I wanted to give you is because now the midsem dates are out and we know when the midsem for DMIR is. So what we have decided is because we have enough time, we got the exam on 12th, right? So what we will do is we'll finish it up second unit also. So instead of one and a half unit, we will have 2 units. All right. So 2 complete units, and we'll also see if by the next midweek, if we can add up something from the third unit, because I'm sure we'll finish that and we'll get into the travel methods also. But in case we don't, so we'll realize that by next Wednesday. So I'll tell you. Uh, right now, we'll be going with 2 units confirmed, which is the first unit, which includes the introduction to data mining. Again, I have given you a small, course notes, which will help you understand the topics. May be possible that it is not the complete syllabus, but it will give you an idea how to begin, right? Second, also, I'll try to do that if the time permits. I'll try to share something for this unit also. So coming back to introduction to information retrieval. In the last lecture, we did discuss a lot of examples. We discussed how information retrieval is done at servers and at Google's end, at search engines and other websites also, right? So now we'll see from that very practical examples to the basic theory. So in this particular set of lectures, we'll be understanding what is IR problem, like because what are the issues related to information retrieval. So if we understand that, then we'll be able to do the next thing, like how can we organize an IR system once we understand the problem. Then we'll be talking on indexing, retrieval, right? Some current research topics also I'll give you an idea. All right. So let's begin. So the first thing first is what exactly is IR, or what exactly is the goal of IR? Or when we say information retrieval, what do we mean is? We mean is that we want to find relevant documents from a very large document set. I would write that, 7td1website.com or 7td1mu.com from probably, I don't know, billions of websites on the, internet. And my goal is to find out that relevant web page which is designed, created for 7TD1, about 7TD1, or somewhere has some information about 7TD1, right? It can be anything. You can be searching on Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. You can be searching on Lewis Hamilton. You can be searching on Picasso. You might be searching on any person in the IT field, right? You might be Elon Musk fan, so you might be searching that. So when I'm searching that, the overall goal is, let me even put it here. Find documents which are relevant, and that's why relevant is put it in a separate font so you understand. It's not only I'm finding the searching the documents from the web or any other place, but relevant information through those documents from a very large document set, right? So please understand that this is the goal of IR, and this exactly is the problem with the IR. I'll tell you why. Because we have information needs. We have so much, large amount of data and information available over the internet. There are a lot of, claiming true information, other things, and all that. So we fire queries. We need some information. We fire queries to that. And then there is an IR system which is in the background, which does this basic process, right? Where does it does from? This IR system retrieval process it does from the document collection. So in terms of Google, and that day, I think Anjali was also saying, Bhargav was also saying regarding the, crawlers. You guys mentioned that. So basically, crawler is a program, right? Spider, crawler are the programs which this particular thing, document collection you see here. Let me, use something. So these are actually, please excuse my handwriting because I do not have a writing pad, but these are Google servers, right? Let me put it in a short way. So these are Google servers. Let's assume this is place which you see as Google web page. So in your system, whatever you see is your web page, right? So this is web page. You're firing a query based on your requirement is good. This particular web page goes to the retrieval process in the Google server. It has index pages, which somebody I think was mentioning page rank. So that is indexing done over all the documents which are stored here. And in their particular ranking algorithms, whatever they follow, they would have put this into different indexes. And when you write that particular query, it fetches it from that document collection. In here, what is that document collection? The web pages. This particular thing is known as IR. And this is where the problem arises in terms of getting the right answers, because we have the sometimes these are same. So again, let me connect this. Sometimes these are completely same. The answers list are what we are looking for, and sometimes these are not at all matching, right? So that's the problem related to information retrieval, that you have this kind of challenges. And these are the examples, right? You search for text retrieval conferences. Let's say at the end of the subject, you're looking for something as in a conference where you can put up your research, you can put up your project, and in a form of some results. So you're writing text retrieval conferences across the world, and whatever the results you are getting is what the results are coming from the information channel. Getting it, guys? So the basic first problem of IR was discovered somewhere around 1950s. So a lot of people don't know that text mining, data mining, machine learning, artificial intelligence have been in and around for a very long time. I don't know if you know this or not. Artificial intelligence was proposed around the same time when the first computer was getting built. So that's a intriguing fact that people were thinking about machines which could make decisions or which could act like human way before the machines were there. Getting it, guys? Like around 1950s, the first computers were getting developed, and around the same time, information on artificial intelligence was also getting developed. So first application of IR was somewhere in 1950s, which was issue resulted in libraries. Now, I don't know how many of you face this problem. I am pathetic when it comes to library. And I'll tell you what I'm pathetic at. I love reading books. I probably have a lot of books, whether it is technical, non-technical, so many types of books I read. But when it comes to finding a book in a library, even though ours is a very advanced library, you go there, you search there, and you've been told that this particular place you would have a rack where you can get that particular book. But again, I am very bad with that process also. So similar thing happens when there is a huge library. And now, as I said, we have automated systems, we have computerized systems. So searching, tagging, and finding the book in a library is a very easy process. But when that was not there, everything was done manually. There was a huge issue. And that very information retrieval system, was the base to today's information retrieval system. And I'll connect why, because, and guys, please be connected in terms of the examples, because if you don't understand this thing, it will be tough for you to understand what is the process or problem regarding the current system. Now, if you imagine there are, I don't know, let's say 10,000 books in a library and there's no computer to help you. And you're supposed to go through a list and find out that particular book. Will it be an easy task or will it be a tough task to find out a particular book manually? Can somebody tell me why will it be tough? Jeet, can you try? You can speak up. You don't have to type. Yeah.
Obviously, sir, if you are trying to book manually, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. I'm listening.
Okay, so obviously, if you are trying to find some books manually, then you have to first of all think about the section. Like in particular section, you find lot of books related to that particular topic, and you have to find out there. So obviously difficult.
Okay. And can I say this to all of you? I wanted to ask this question. Can I say this? The retrieval process will be as good as the organization process. Because if the librarian have not followed a very good organization process, and he has put up a, like he was mentioning, Jeet, that there is a broad gender of a books, genre, sorry, not gender, genre of a books, and then I have to search a book from that particular thing. That would be really tough. Same thing applies in the real world also. If we are classifying different genres of music, of books, of web pages into a broader category, it becomes tough and tough to find out. So that is why somewhere around 1950s, somebody in library was organizing the books because he knows that organization is as important as fetching up the books, and he was finding a problem. So somebody started research on this, and that is the base to today's IR problem, right? So what are the possible approaches we can follow in terms of you know uh, solution to the IR problem? So the first one, string matching, linear search, is the same thing which is there in the library, right? If the book title says Data Mining and Information Retrieval by Navjot Singh Jadeja, then the book would be organized. First thing is on the basis of, the strings, data mining. But now the problem is, if I talk about, just 1 minute, Bhargav is giving some input, let me talk. Our libraries may be well organized, but still it takes hours to find a particular book for me. Bhargav, again, I agree because I also find this, tedious. But to be honest, that is because we don't understand how the things are done in the library. If we understand, then it's very easy because I know some people, especially some people in your class also, would be going to library, searching a book, a particular book in a computer. They go to exact rack and somehow they find it. And for me, that looks like magic because, to be honest, first of all, finding that particular rack is a big challenge for me. So I'm very bad at information retrieval in the library system, but probably because I don't understand this, right? Or I don't often visit it for me to know the racks and other thing. But there's some people who understand that they go in the computer, they write a book, okay, and there are some results, so they know where that particular rack would be. Inside that particular rack there are subsections, and they exactly find it. I don't know why and how. I am still very bad with that. So that's the good thing which we have in our library. But let's talk about the possible approaches which we have. So first thing is the normal one, where we organize all the books in the names, string matching, data mining, D. So first D, then second letter is A. So the DA will come before DE or DD and something like that. So that's a linear search thing in a document. So as you know, there are drawbacks that string matching is slow. And when we add up more and more data, it is next to impossible. Here it says difficult to improve, but I would say it's next to impossible to improve the search results when we are going by the linear search. And as you also know, that linear search has a lot of drawbacks. All of you have studied that in the algorithm subject. So next option is indexing. So indexing is something which is quite flexible because indexes can be changed. Second thing is because indexing is on the basis of a lot of parameters, it becomes faster to retrieve the data. Yes or no, guys? Okay. So can anybody tell me in which scenario you already done indexing or you're using indexing? What's the real-time scenario where you are using indexing? Anybody has an example where they know, so this thing which we are using is actually an example of indexing or something like that. Yes, very simple and very efficient example. In the books, to find the chapters, uh, the same example which we are discussing, Deep has said that we can be using, any book we are trying to find in the library. So we have a general index there. Also in the books, I don't know, you guys do this or not. For a particular topic, I never used to go through index. There's a very good thing in the international books is that they have a terminology based bibliography at the end of the book. So let's say I'm looking for indexing concept. So at the end of the book, there is a huge index. Yeah. And where you see indexing, it will mention all the pages where, indexing is there. Wonderful, Bhargav. This is also a very good example. Uh, Map of amusement park is an example of information retrieval, not directly based on indexing, but a very good one because yes, it can become indexing when it has actual steps given. Then, in order to see the next thing, you have to go through a particular order, right? Or in a way that you can find it. Then it is good. Otherwise, in any ways, also amusement park maps are great example of information retrieval. Anything else anybody can come up with? Google Maps are there, Google web searches are there. Yes, car numbers, even bigger than that, your post ID cards number, right? Your post office number, whatever you call, they are the ones which help you identify which location you are. Then Krishnaraj is saying we can say how people use library to watch. Yes, because see, Netflix is nothing but a video library, right? Amazon is what? A video library. So we don't have to stress on the fact that we can say it, we can surely say it's a video library, right? Just like your library. If there is a book, it will suggest. If there's no book, it would suggest something similar nearby, like that. Yes, Dhruv is saying country code. That's what I said. Postal codes, country codes, your mobile phone number based on your locations, or you can say circles, the word which the phone companies use. So these are wonderful examples. So now you understand these are information retrieval examples, and in most of the cases we perform indexing. Also, a lot of people don't know that even the search which you make within your computer, right? When you're using Windows at least, it will ask you to index that search. So if you're indexing that search, so next time you're searching it, it will be like very quick because now it has search index of that particular type of search which you are performing. So let's say if you're searching PowerPoint files, or if you are trying to find out particular types of multimedia files, then you can use that. What Bhargav is suggesting is also the same example, but little bit more complicated. So I don't know how many people would have used that particular thing, but the one which I give is the same as what Bhargav is mentioning, and we can index those things, right? So we know that linear search is slow, indexing is faster. You know where linear search happens, you know where indexing happens, and that's what the possible approaches for IRR. So this is how the indexing happens, as you can see it on the screen. And just read everything once before I start explanation so that we can connect, because this is a complete process. There's no starting point, ending point like that. This is a complete block of indexing in which we, do the information retrieval. So just 1 minute, go through everything, try to, connect things. Whatever examples you are given, try to connect that also. All right, so understood. So let us, discuss this. So if you can see properly this particular block, so we have, one end, which is the querying end, from where you will be searching the resources. You will be searching the documents which you want. In the case of Google, it will be known as web document. In case of library, it will be known as book. And in general, it will be known as document, right? On the other end, there is document organization, right, which is document. So we have the representation, right, in terms of different keywords on the basis of which we could index the searches, right? And as you know that indexing is the way to improve the searches. So with the documents, we would have, indexes, and that particular thing will be matched up during the query evaluation so that, we can best fit the search and quickly find out that into the results. Now, if you are any of you into the WordPress development or PHP development or even simple web development, so there is this particular thing where they started this concept that you can add up tags. Tags are something which you can, like, WordPress was initially designed for blogs, writing different kinds of blogs, reaching out to more people, sharing the information. So WordPress came up with an idea of tags for searches. So what are tags for searches? So if I'm having an article on information retrieval, so what would be my possible tags is, introduction to IR, information retrieval process, and like that. So when somebody writes that in the Google search or at different places in the blog platforms, they would land up on my page or possibly land up on my page. Same very thing, Facebook did better, and yeah, related keywords. And now Instagram or Twitter has completely changed this, using that if you are using relevant tags, right, you basically can land up a lot of, results. So later on, using that very thing, YouTube also started indexing its, you know, documents, which are video files and other things, in terms of the search results. So related keywords have become an integral part of the search in any of the platform, whether it is social media, whether it is Google or any other place, right? So, the tags are nothing but the keywords, relevant keywords, as you can see here for the representation. So if I'm saying, what would I say, trending dance video, and then that video would include somebody from your class who had done a particular video on YouTube and has the keyword and the title and other things matching up, then there is a chance that when I'm searching this in the YouTube, the results would match it up, and then I would get traffic. Same way, in the Google search, when I'm writing it, there's a chance that I would get my results in terms of the final results of query results. So if I go back to this particular part, so here answer list is what is matched up with the keywords, and then resultant answer list is generated. So moving forward, so let's elaborate on the things which we are discussing. What are the main problems in IR? So main problems are divided into two parts, as I told you earlier also. Even if we go back to the last slide, there are two basic problems. One is on the document side, other is on the querying side. and probably somewhere on the query evaluation side also. So let's say that is how we'll be breaking up our main problems. So this is what we have done it here. So the main problems in IR, or as we say, information retrieval. So the first thing is document and query indexing problem. So how to best represent their content is the question. Second question is query evaluation or the retrieval process, right? So the next, the question related to that is, to what extent does a document correspond to a query? So if you install, certain plugins in your browser, because as I told you, I'm a YouTuber, I have 3, 4 channels, uh, all of them are doing great. So I have a lot of thing in terms of managing the traffic, plus sometimes how to see what my competitors are doing well. So this particular thing, query evaluation, is something which I do a lot. So I search something in the YouTube Buddy, or you can say it is known as TubeBuddy. So TubeBuddy is one of the apps, but that does not give me the how good my other people are doing, or to what extent does the document correspond to a query. There are apps such as vidIQ and other thing which give you the percentage to which a particular video in the result is matching up to the query which I've said, right? And there I know what are the keywords, what are the descriptions which they've added, which makes it more relevant. So using that, you can also improve your tag keywords, you can also improve your descriptions or titles and etc. So until and unless you would have been working in this domain, it would be little tough for you to understand. But still, I'll try to break it up. I don't know if everybody understands Gujarati or not, but just for everybody to understand, I'll have to speak it up little slowly and in Gujarati. એટલે હું જ્યારે એવું કહું છું કે મારે મારવાડી યુનિવર્સિટીમાંથી I want to have somebody who sings, probably like I am looking for a cultural competition at university level in India. તો મારે best singer જોઈએ છે, best dancer જોઈએ છે. I want to check a lot of other things. I don't know what cultural events include because બહુ time થઈ ગયો નથી. તો મારે કેવી રીતે કરવું જોઈએ? Should I just ask few people and get the results that who is the best singer and who is the best dancer, or any other way? How should I actually get the results? How should I perform that thing? Whom should I call? Auditions? Okay. Okay. Poll? Okay. Any other thing? A digital way? Can you elaborate, Jeet?
Yeah, sure, sir. Like we can generate one hashtag related to that, and uh, uh, made a poster and like say everybody that use that hashtag and post a video, then we can like take audition on digital way.
All right. Deep is saying so show previous records. Okay. All right. Any other thing anybody can come up with? All right, Rutvik, can you speak up in the mic? I wanted to ask a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you into some thing as singing or dancing? Anything?
Yes, sir. I represented Marwadi University at All India University competitions held
For
at Pune.
for singing?
Yes, sir.
I'm not getting your voice, Rutvik. For
Yes, sir. For singing.
okay. Yes. So my question now is, let's say I want to look for the singers, right? Now, how many people in whole of Marwadi University? Because I think we have around 9 to 10,000 students would be interested in singing. Just rough number, because you might be going to that music room and all.
Probably 100 to 150 students would be interested in music, especially
Okay.
in singing, but not everyone would be having a good grip.
Okay. Now the first question is, how do we know how many people are interested in? Yes or no? Because
Yes, sir.
that's the
Absolutely.
challenge. How do we reach out to maximum people? Because I was there in the social media team of MUFest. Sometimes, even though you are marketing it through social media, you only touch 15, 20, 25% at the max those who are really active on the social media or those who are digitally amazingly literate, because we also have courses as BScs, the courses such as law, architecture, where people might have different groups, completely different. We have international students who might not be there on most of the things. So then reaching out is the first step, which is a problem. Second is, let's assume that whatever count Rutvik is saying is not correct, and we have some more. He would have met 100 and 150, but then suddenly, because of right way of messaging or creating a proper messaging channel, now I have about 250 students who are interested in music. And yes, Rutvik is right. Out of the 250 interested students, not everybody would be right, interested or good. Is it everybody facing the voice issue, or is it just Jinish? All right. So what I'm saying is, out of the 250 students who are interested in music, the challenge is not everybody is good. I will just ask questions: to what extent does a document correspond to a query? So my query is, who are good singers to represent college? Now, how many documents will match up and what extent it will match up is a big challenge. Now, taking audition of 250 students is also a tough task. Taking an audition at a run time, giving not enough preparation time is also a challenge, right? So should we be doing audition when a particular event comes up, or should we be having people representing the team throughout the year with a proper indexing? That if there is cultural, I will call up Rutvik. If there is hip hop, I'll call up Jinish. If there is pop, I'll call up Jeet. If there is a rap battle, I'll call up Bhargav. Like that, and I have the list. They practice, they prepare every time. What is better? So that's what Google, that's what YouTube, that's what every system, which is a background of retrieval of information, does. They have their indexing mechanisms, right? And they rate you on that indexing mechanism. And that is why, as I said, I'll show you before we finish this particular discussion. I'll show you how they show it. I'll also show you how percentage are played, how different tags are added. And on the basis of that, we can actually improve the search results on a longer run. And if you are into any of the thing, like you are in the seventh semester, so by the time you will come up in the eighth, because this semester I don't see any sports activity, cultural activity happening in the near future. So by the eighth semester you come, probably most of you would be done with coming to college, because you might be placed. Some might be busy with their preparation or the future. But wherever you go, this particular discussion which we are having, information retrieval, you can be leaders of the future, and you might someday decide to form a system. This very thing can be implemented at all places, whether it is information from the documents, whether it is information from the channels, whether it is information through the system. So the question arises, how do we rate that? Second is, when we are evaluating the system, as I said, if you go back to the last diagram, just 1 minute. So we have this one problem in here, how we, organize this, one problem in here, and one problem in here. So basically we have three problems, like we have the document and query indexing, we have the query evaluation, and we have the system evaluation, right? So how good a system is? Are the retrieved documents relevant? Are the results good? Are all the relevant documents retrieved? So we have the parameters as in precision and recall. That is what we'll be discussing in the next unit also. All right, Bhargav is adding up something. Correct. That is correct. So what we have to do is, yeah, and see, latecomers, To be honest, Bhargav, in the recent days, since a lot of issues are popping up in the placement, I believe if you are late and if you don't get chance, you deserve not to get chance. Whether it is placement, whether it is work, whether it is not to be allowed in the classes, though we do allow that because we are into education. But if you are looking for an opportunity, whether it is job, whether it is talent, whether it is anything, I honestly say this on a recorded lecture, you will never be late if you're serious on that. Because I've seen people for auditions at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I've seen people for GPSC waking up at 4 o'clock from Rajkot, Junagadh, turning up themselves into car and giving at the exam in Ahmedabad and coming back in the night. And I've seen people going for, Army, Air Force, government exams where they have struggled and they are always on time. So if you're a latecomer, second point, I think you don't deserve. But for the first point, you're right. What if there is a new document? What if there are new websites? How do we do it? So that is why, if you know, I'll give you the answer just like what you asked. Let's say a new website is launched and established and it has all the relevant things. Google, what it does is every fortnight, Google updates its own indexes. So when that indexing updates happen through the results of crawling engine and other thing, then they come up with the new indexes. So same thing in the talent hunt. What we can do is the team is fixed, right? But every 15 days, 20 days, we also look for any new talent. In our case, we can't be looking every 15 days, but at least every month we can organize one competition and a talent. And if somebody is really good, who rehearsed well, who practiced well, or who did something well, we can get them on board, just like Google does. So that is what we can do in here. Getting it, guys, everybody? So you understand what are the three problems we have in information retrieval. And now we will be discussing all three of them in detail, like here. But before I go there, because this would require one whole lecture to be done with that. And I think we have 15-20 minutes. So what I would do is we would revise all the things. Plus I have certain things to, share on terms of the syllabus updates as well. Or should we continue and then we break it and join again next lecture? What do you say? The link is good, right? We can continue. All right, only one person is answering. Wonderful. Let's continue. So let's talk of the first, issue, which is document indexing. So the overall goal of this particular, situation or whatever the target we are setting is to find the important meanings and create an internal representation, right? Now, as I told you, let me show you something so you'll connect with this better. Let me share this tab. All right, so as you can see it on the screen, I performed a search, right? A search which is min-max normalization in the data mining. So there are a lot of videos, as you know, in the YouTube, as we can see it here. I am logged in through some other ID, which is not my channel ID. So because of that, my particular video is not suggested in the top 10 because this becomes a neutral search for me. If the same thing I change from here and put my channel ID or more frequently visited ID, then what would happen is I would have more of my own thing here. Now, if you see here, because I have the filter or a particular, thing to help me out with my search. If you see here, there are 271 total reactions on the video. So it has 218 likes, 37 dislikes, 16 comments. If you see here, this is 85%, right? In terms of likes, like dislike ratio. It has the total views of 29K. This might not be updated completely. If you open, it might happen that this would have been even more than 29K. Now, these are only 310 subscribers. Many of you might have more subscribers than this, but you might together not have this much views on whole of the channel, whereas this guy has it on one video itself, right? There is one more channel right below it, which is a very popular, channel in terms of short explanation. Whether he is right or not, that is a different thing. But he has 145K subscribers, right? And he has 44K, which is 44K views. He has more interaction here, right? His is also 2 years. This is also 2 years. This is more reacted video. This is more views. This is more like to dislike ratio. Still, this result comes up here as in the first. And if it is coming first, again, ultimately, this means that this particular video will be seen more and more in the upcoming times also. And when I see this particular, let's say I open this video. Let me show you this thing. So this is not a great quality video. It's just a notebook sum which somebody recorded. If we see, I don't know if this guy is a faculty or a student and has a lot of things. Just let me check it out, how many videos and other thing he has. I'll tell you why this is all important, because this is what the background of data science is, right? Okay, let me show you this tab. So this is the tab to his channel. If you see, he has only 8 videos, right? And all of them are great success. I'll tell you why. Because this is 31K, this is 29K, this is 20K, 17K, 11K, 10K, and something like that. So he has about 141,000 views, right, on his channel. I don't know if he's earning or not because he has only 310 subscribers. But somehow his results are appearing more frequent than any other results. So if I were to do this video, what would I do is, point hato, how can I make it more relevant? See, you see this particular keyword sets. On this keyword sets, he is ranked either 1, 2, 1 or 7. He's not even given much keywords and still he is ranked better. Getting it? Why? Because this is coming as in the results for most of them are more frequent keywords. So that is how when we go back, and let me share the PPT. So now you will connect better with what I was saying. This is where you will connect that to what extent does a document correspond to a query. So the hashtag is the query keyword and the result is what you're getting in. And if that result is there and people are clicking on it, because nowadays the search engines are very intelligent. They don't only boast on the results which they are showing. They also compare how much is the click ratio. And if the click ratio is high, that means they recommend it more they recommend. Again, if the click ratio is high, ultimately you result in more and more traffic. So if you are into YouTube, if you are into social media, then you have impression click-through rate also, which you can monitor. And this is on the basis of which, again, Google monitors or YouTube monitors and put your results into relevant results. So that very thing is like the question in document indexing: find the important meanings and create an internal representation. So the YouTube, as we saw in the question, has its own way of indexing keywords. More frequent search keywords on min-max normalization. Example of min-max normalization, etc., 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 into one target, that this all mean one thing and it should be directed here. So when we are doing this, what we have to consider when we are fetching the result or arranging the results is, one is accuracy to represent the meanings, because Puma is also a brand and Puma is also an animal, right? Same ways, a lot of words match up to different things. So semantics are something on the basis of which we index things, right? There are a lot of words which have multiple meanings. So getting those words into right order with accuracy is one factor. Second is exhaustiveness. So basically, we also have to cover all possible content, and that is why search engines like Google, organizations like Coursera and Udemy, and even this Vedantu and all, they are hiring people for regional languages also. In fact, one of our students from 2018 batch is working on, a portal which is developed by a foreign company, which is the same company which provided the animation for Avatar, the movie. So they are developing a teaching bot. You understand what is teaching a bot? Teaching bot is something which will replace me to teach you guys. It will look like me if you are turning on a video. So there will be a face. That face would have reactions, emotions, everything, and it will teach you the subjects of your choice. What would be different is, because then it will be an artificial intelligent bot. To Bhargav, who has subscribed to MU classes of 20, 35 probably, it would be teaching in Surti language, right? To somebody, I think somebody is an international student, I don't know who it is. So for that particular student, it will be teaching in his own native language. There will be somebody from non-Gujarati background, but not a great English background, would be teaching in Hindi. Are you understanding? Like that. So that very thing is what they are working on right now. So that is what we call exhaustiveness. કે જેટલા possible options હોય એ બધાને cover કરીએ, so that we can fetch the best possible information retrieved from the document list. And third is facility for computer to manipulate. So good service provider in terms of servers, in terms of fetching the data, is what will play a role in here also. And for that, what do we do is, what is the best representation of content? We arrange them in certain phases. And using that, we actually divide them, which includes the coverage to accuracy. Getting it, guys? All right. Okay. So what we will do is, I think we are approaching 11:20. So let's pause the discussion here, quickly revise what we have discussed, and we'll follow up in the next lecture from here. So going back. All right. Yeah. So we started with information retrieval introduction. We saw what are the problems we will be covering. So the general problem of IR is, we have information needs. So we fire the queries. There are IR systems which does the retrieval process from the document collection, and we took up the examples of Google. So this could be Google, and the results which you get are your answers. We saw this with the help of this particular us a better perspective. We saw the example of libraries. We also saw different examples from your side related to maps in the amusement parks, in terms of searching the music or video in the libraries, which are digital libraries. We thought of two possible approaches. So we had the string matching approach, which is linear search, which is the normal way, you organize things where they're organized in the alphabetical order or something like that. But it gets very slow plus difficult to manage and improve. Second is the indexing approach, where it is very fast, flexible to improve. So we saw what is indexing based IR, where we have the documentation section where we arrange the documents. We have the query section which index the search queries, and then there is a process of query evaluation. So these three blocks, again, when we see in broad perspective, we have different issues in here, right? So what are the questions which arises in here are like, if it is document and query indexing, we have the question which is how to best represent their content. Because like somebody said, again, let's elaborate that one more time. If we do audition of the singing which we were discussing, can we say that auditions are also little biased if it is performed by local faculties or local staff? What do you think, guys? Maybe. Okay. All right, I'll give you a relevant example. Don't we like cricketers who are more good looking than the, just being a good players? That's our bias. Why? Because the players who are really good, but they are not stylish or good looking, and we don't prefer them much over the good looking players. So that very thing also plays a part when it comes to auditions. And that very thing comes in terms of representing the content. So if we are not having an unbiased, remember this bias word, this is data mining bias. I'm not talking about bias which you bring in the discussion. This particular bias actually is not supposed to be there if we want to best represent the content, right? Next up, we discussed query evaluation. So the question is, to what extent does a document correspond to a query? We saw an example in terms of YouTube. Then system evaluation to compare on the basis of precision and recall two questions. And third question is how good the system is. Then we elaborated the document indexing problem. What are the goals in here? What are the factors to be considered? And what is the best representation of the content? So this is what we have discussed in the whole lecture today. Any doubts you guys have, then we can discuss. Otherwise, we will be moving forward to the most important section. Okay. Krashnaraj is saying, man, everything really is biased everywhere. I don't know. I don't agree though, but maybe.